The EduTech guys present a conversation from our live coverage of FETC in Orlando, Florida on Tuesday, January 23rd, 2018. Enjoy the program.
We're currently shaking hands with Mr. Anthony Owen, who's going to come grab a seat here.
It's good to see a fellow Arkansan.
That's right, fellow Arkansans here, all the way in Florida.
But there's a lot of computer science folks from Arkansas here.
Yeah.
We're excited to have everybody here. And, there's a lot of folks here, aren't there? You guys have really shown up in force.
Well, we decided, to evaluate the conference. A lot of us talked about it. We saw it online and had some positive feedback and decided to bring a team down to really just kind of check it out and see if we wanted to bring a larger contingent next year. But we're going to have, I think, 4 of our computer science specialists along with myself. And so far the experience has been great. And I said one of the first things I had to do was go find the EduTech guy.
That's
awesome.
So I was just about to tweet out, but I'll get that in a second. So
we love this conference. For last year was my first year to come. David's been before. But that's what's really interesting about here. Like Jennifer Womble says, who runs the whole thing, most of the real stuff happens in the hallways, which that's kind of true about a lot of conferences. That's not true about anything, really, but it all happens here. And the folks that we meet and the things that we learn about, some of it we've never heard of before. And it's really interesting. We just had Dr. Robert Dillon in the seat talking about what he's going to talk about, some brain research later today and stuff like that. And he's in a St. Louis school that's a lot like rural schools in Arkansas.
right.
So and you get to learn really interesting stuff.
Well, anytime teachers and educators go to conferences, obviously we want them to go to sessions that speak to them, and that's what I told my specialist. I don't want them just to avoid all sessions, but like you said, so much happens outside of those session rooms, the networking that happens, the knowledge that you gain just walking into a person and just having those real life conversations outside of a set and get experience. And I haven't been to any of the sessions or workshops yet here, but I'm sure they're going to be great, and I'm going to enjoy a few of those, but I'm also just going to enjoy, I already got to hang out a little bit in the VIP lounge and meet a couple people in there, and it's just been a good experience so far.
That's awesome.
My team's excited to get over here. So.
And there's so much going on here.
Yes, there really is, and that's one of the things I've been coming to FETC for, I don't know, several years, and long before I was even doing EduTech guys. And one of the things I like about this conference is there are so many different ways to get that learning. They have the traditional breakout sessions, but and they have poster sessions that a lot of conferences have, but they also do like these 20-minute kind of quick jab presentations, and they have these like Mitch Weisberg we were talking to earlier. He talked to FETC about setting up a game-based learning pavilion. It's just, holy cow, there's all kinds of cool stuff. So
well, and it never ceases. You go to these conferences, and if you'll keep your eyes open, you'll never know what you'll run into. I mean, just this morning I picked up some materials that was shared with us, and I've already sent a message to Stacy Smith at the Department of Education. I got a magazine for her that I think is going to speak to some of the cohesive work between the computer science world and the literacy, the Rise Arkansas. We launched our microbit co-branded sponsorship where we're giving out microbits and also books to all the K-8 librarians in the state and providing training for that. So kind of neat magazine on that. And then Mark Scarlett, I sent him an email just a little while ago. He had been asking me about grant opportunities in the Journal magazine that they're handing out in there. It's got a section of upcoming grant opportunities, so I've already sent that to him. So just, these are the type of things that I'm just proud to represent our state and proud to take a team and proud to take things back to Arkansas that we may have not otherwise known about. So,
and I'm glad you're here tooting our horn, because the governor has done a great job about pushing computer science. I mean, think where we've come in just under a year. And we've come a long way, and not just for education, but for the economy in Arkansas.
Well, the economy and also just the recognition of Arkansas. I love my state. I love Arkansas, and but sometimes we don't get the best press nationally.
Right. Yes.
And it is very surprising anytime I take someone new to one of the national conferences, and they, especially around computer science or a national group, and they start hearing other states brag on us, and and they're always asking, well, what did Arkansas do on this? Well, Arkansas has already done this, and that's just that makes me proud that I've had a portion of that. But you said it just square on the head. Without Governor Hutchinson's leadership on this initiative and his vision, we would not be where we are.
No, not at all.
You know, he has really made the difference in this, and I'm just proud to play my small part in it. And but we're heading back to CSTA conference. Last year we had one of the largest contingents at the annual conference in Baltimore. We had over 22 individuals from Arkansas.
Yeah.
This year we're planning on it being closer to 50. So
that is awesome.
So if your listeners are not aware, we are still open to the. We're providing 16 $1,000 sponsorships to that conference out of my office. So it doesn't cover all the costs, but hey, $1,000 is $1,000.
That's right.
So that application's still open. They can contact me if they need to know where they can get information on that, or their CS specialist in their local co-op.
That's awesome. So one of the things that we've known each other, so we kind of jumped the gun a little bit. We didn't give our listeners the opportunity to learn who you are. So,
Oh yeah.
Well, I'm nobody important, so don't worry about that.
Come on.
Yeah, right. Don't let him fool you.
Before you answer that, I have to say, you say that, but you are the tip of the spear for the governor's program.
That's exactly right.
That's exactly right.
Thank
So,
you. Well,
yeah.
I'll introduce myself in a second, but just so you know, I was raised by independent single mom who always taught her kids, no matter how good you are at something, there's always someone who could do it better.
Yes.
And as quickly as a blessing is given, it can be taken away. And I always try to remain humble in my position. So it's hard for me to talk about myself. I'd rather give accolades to others. But my name is Anthony Owen. I'm the State Director of Computer Science Education. That was a position created by Governor Hutchinson in 2015. I've held that position since it was created. But basically, as you said, it is the spearhead of the CS Education Initiative for Arkansas. We were the first state to create a state-level dedicated position to CS education. And the other states that have seen the progress that we have made have started noticing that, and we are now up to 13 states across the nation that have created a similar spot within their state government. And
wow.
That's based on Arkansas's success, and we continue to lead the nation. The code.org has 9 policy ideas. Actually, when we started, it was 7 policy suggestions is what they call them. But based on the work that we did and talking with them, they decided to take some of our lead and our examples of things that we were doing successful and expand that to 9 policy suggestions. And we've been very blessed in this initiative, from Governor Hutchinson's support to the legislature. Computer science education is not a partisan issue, and it has been unilaterally supported. And because I think everyone realizes that in 10, 15 years, what jobs are going to be out there that don't require some type of computer prowess? I mean, and not to say anything bad about what they do, because trust me, I greatly appreciate what they do. But I was looking in the garbage truck that comes around my neighborhood, and there's a computer in there that shows him what houses are on his route, who's delinquent, how many trash cans they're supposed to have, etc. So, even in jobs that 10 years ago, 15 years ago was, can you drive a truck? And can you pick up this can? Is now, can you operate this technology that is associated with requirement of doing the job? And, think about it, what it's going to look like 10, 15 years down the road. There will be no jobs that don't require a certain amount of technology prowess. And that's the beautiful thing about a computer science initiative is we're not training every student to be a computer programmer. We know that they're not going to be. But we want every student to understand at least that there's someone and something behind creating that application that they're using to do what X, Y, Z. And guess what? If you study and you're interested in this, you can be the person that creates that next application that makes $3 million.
Right, exactly. And or even if that isn't a part of it at all, and a student walks away from their education and says, hey, I got my degree or didn't finish or whatever, and they end up on that garbage truck and they've been exposed to that, then guess what? They're ahead of the student who didn't, or in some cases, it's not they're ahead of the student, they're ahead of the, and I know I'm going to probably offend a lot of people, but they're ahead of the old timer who doesn't want to know about the computer stuff. I ain't going to mess with that computer stuff. My father-in-law is a good old boy farmer, and that's one of the things he and I have talked about is the fact that when now he goes to the John Deere dealership, all these tractors got all these computers on them, and I don't, and I'm like, yeah, that's where it is.
Well,
so you have
you
a
can't
student
spray a field now without GPS.
Yeah, between GPS and GIS and all the other stuff that goes with, that is connected to and a part of where computer science, that whole umbrella, you've got these students that, if a student ends up being a sanitation engineer, who's been exposed to some of the things that computer science touches, they're already ahead. Yeah, it's awesome.
Well, and that's something our state is really starting to look at. It's not only the K-12 space. We're rocking and rolling in the K-12 space. We have some room to go, but we've got a good foundation started. But we're starting to really reconsider that adult workforce retraining. My nonprofit, we just released 12 6,000 scholarships for adults in the workforce to go back to Arkansas Coding Academy and go through a 13-week coding academy. And Governor Hutchinson actually he agreed to allow for those to go state employees. He's going to give them paid time off of being a state employee to go to that coding academy and expand their skills. And that just once again shows his commitment, the state's commitment to it. I was sitting there listening to you about the old timers, and a few years ago I was sitting in a session, and I heard an astronaut say, he was encouraging students to take mathematics. And I'm a math teacher. I was, math was my major, so I love mathematics, trust me. But I was listening to him. He said, I want y'all to take as much math as you can, because I've never had a person in my life tell me, I regret taking too many mathematics courses. And he said, that is a key indicator of success. Well, I think we're moving into another phase of what are those applied mathematics and science courses, which is really what computer science is. It's mathematics and science is applied into a technology, y'all know that as well as I do. But I would venture to not to think I'm on the same level as an astronaut, but I would venture to say that in 10 years we will probably never have a person come up to us and say, I regretted taking so many computer science courses.
Yes,
exactly
I would
right.
totally agree.
You're exactly
totally
right.
Agree.
And for Arkansas, that's just gonna. I have to throw this in there. One of my former guys works at a startup, Apogee, in Little Rock, and I don't think everyone understands what this means for Arkansas when 2 coders or 4 coders or 1 coder creates something, starts a startup, and needs salespeople and PR people and business people and CPAs, and the jobs that we're creating in Arkansas are enormous. I mean, enormous. And these are entrepreneurial jobs for individual entrepreneurs. And we're going to see these kids, because they work different than we do. I've been in education my whole life, but these kids will change jobs every 4 to 6 years, and that's no problem to them. Some of them sooner than that. And that's where it's exciting to go to downtown Little Rock now, to go to Bentonville, to go to Conway, to go to Jonesboro, and see what's happening everywhere, because it's just it's happened in the last 3 years, and the governor just went, let's inject this. Right. Let's put the adrenaline on this. I'm telling you, I'm very excited what you guys are doing, and you're right about computer science. The workflow alone, learning to understand what these people do when they do. If that's the only thing I take from it, it's going to make me a better writer. It's going to make me a better teacher. It's going to make me a better businessman, because I've learned the workflow of, this is how this all flows together. Beautiful stuff.
Yeah, it's awesome. Stuff.
Arkansas is just, we're a ripe state. With the governor really was a visionary where he grasped onto this. I think he really saw a great opportunity for our state. He said in the past that he wants Arkansas to become the Silicon Valley of the Midwest. And, we are attracting startups. We're attracting industries that are relocating their headquarters to Arkansas because of our low cost of living, our high quality of life. You can pay a person a $100,000 salary in Arkansas, and they live very well.
Like a king.
Right,
You pay a person a $100,000 salary out in San Francisco, and
they're the toilet in one room.
They're having to live with 6 other people to have a 1,000 square foot apartment.
Well, the thing, in Arkansas, I can get in my vehicle in 30 minutes. I can be the lake or a stream.
Right. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I mean, I'm there. I'm doing I'm hiking, I'm biking, I'm fishing, I'm camping, I'm skiing. I'm doing anything I want to do. Yeah.
Yeah. So, as I said earlier, I'm blessed and privileged to be a part of it. I appreciate having individuals like yourselves that continue to share our story and tout Arkansas, and that's very important. And I'm just proud y'all are here representing Arkansas. When I saw on Twitter that y'all were going to be here, I was like, those guys get around. they're the superstars. I don't know.
Well, I don't know about that, but
we're that good slice of bread in the loaf. That's what
yes, that's right.
Well, I know from my office and Department of Ed, we greatly appreciate the work that y'all do.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very, very much. That means
we
a
hope
lot.
you have a great time here. We know you're going to have a great time here. Yeah,
We will.
awesome.
Awesome.
Before
Thanks.
you go, though,
That's
we
right.
always like to give out a little piece of tchotchke.
That's right.
And,
Thank you. Wonderful.
You've
That's
now
right.
been interviewed by the EduTech
I know
guys.
you have one of our other ones. I don't know if you have that version of the pin, so
It will
but
go
you know,
on,
we're just going to keep adding to your collection. So
I'll go on my state lanyard. You know, I
yeah,
gotta
that's
represent
right.
Arkansas.
That's right.
Thank
Thanks.
y'all. Have a great day.
Very good
Hey,
to
you
see you,
too.
man. Awesome. Oh, so
We
great.
want to thank
Yeah, go ahead.
Anthony Owen for coming by and talking with us. We work with him a lot because we're in education in Arkansas, and he's a great guy. He's very, very passionate about what he does, and I think the governor chose the right person to put in charge there. Really good stuff.
You've been listening to a recorded conversation from EduTech Guy's live coverage of FETC 2018. For more information about EduTech Guys, visit edutechguys.com. And thanks for listening.